This episode of the Buffalonian podcast is brought to you by the CastSource Podcast Network, a podcast network built with and for entrepreneurs. We cover many genres such as sports, mental health, marketing, entertainment, and business. We feature the podcast shows such as Sports Bring People Together, Limitless, Saviors of the Metaverse, and The Athletic Mindset. Learn more at castsource.com/podcast. Now, without further ado, let's get into the Buffalonian podcast. The Buffalo Bills face off against the New Jersey Jets. We'll recap our picks from last week, and we'll pick some more games for you this week. All of this and more on the Buffalonian podcast, betting on the Bills. All right, let's go. We are back with the Buffalonian podcasts, betting on the Bills, week 9. Fellas, let's get into formation here. How are we feeling?
The real formation.
The real formation.
The OG.
The OG. How are we feeling? Week 9 of the NFL season.
Yeah, it starts tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Rare pod recording on Thursday.
Yep. Some schedule conflicts, but you know what? On the online format, we work around this kind of a thing. So, our boy Buster Bison here had to go out yesterday, Dom, and
was Buster at one point, and then was a Sabres fan next. So,
yeah.
I know, a 2 for 1.
What a game by
one, because then I was myself. So,
then you're yourself.
3-1.
Yeah. So, what a game for the Sabres, but we're not talking about the Sabres on this pod. We're going to go into some Bills talk. The Bills play the New Jersey Jets this weekend in New Jersey in their 12.5-point road favorites. So, are we surprised?
No. Did you see the game they had last week?
Yeah. No.
Zach Wilson arguably had his worst game ever. It just goes to show you when they don't have a run game, he can't lead a team.
And we all got that one wrong except Mike, because somehow Mike accidentally put down the Patriots in his text pick. So, congrats to you.
Yeah, he swapped it up on us, but he swapped it back, so he technically he did get it wrong. But
no, go with the original pick.
Okay. Yeah, we'll switch it up for you. But
the picks. Come on now.
What'd you say?
So we don't allow switching of the picks. Once they're in, they're in.
Yeah, that's why I went back. I just forgot.
No pick switches.
Sorry,
I saw that immediately. Red flag in the group chat. I was like, wait, Mike, you definitely picked the Jets this past weekend. I don't know what you're doing taking the Patriots. But we all went 10-5. I know that we're gonna say we're gonna.
Well, let's get into the recap a little later. Let's talk about these New Jersey Jets, as you say. I'm just gonna call them the New York Jets because that's their actual name. I'm not that much of a.
When you play in New Jersey, you're not a New York team, so that's the mindset right now.
All right. Well, I
don't think the Commanders don't play in Washington.
They play in Washington. Oh no, they don't.
Play in Maryland.
We want to say they play in Washington. We want to say they play in Washington State.
No, Washington.
I totally
DC.
thought you
Dallas Cowboys play in Arlington. Buffalo Bills play in Orchard Park.
All right. This is what you started because you were petty and said the New Jersey Jets.
I'm gonna say the New Jersey Jets till the day I die, unless they move to New York City. But like I said, Bills 12.5-point road favorites. Sauce Gardner opened his mouth up a little bit. Do you think he'll, if you will, put his money where his mouth is, or do you think he fails? And Stephon Diggs, the best route runner in the NHL, makes him fall on his face and break his ankles.
Oh, we're playing hockey now.
Yeah,
we're playing hockey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, buddy.
Obviously in the offseason.
Oh, I said NHL. I didn't even realize that.
That was the
Went
joke.
right over my head on that one. Yeah, that was my bad.
But Sauce did say after he got drafted, I think in rookie minicamp he could guard Diggs. I guess we're gonna see it. But the Jets are a good team on the defensive side of the ball. I think their quarterback's Their quarterback's a big downfall, and then they don't have the weapons or really the ground game, which was such a big factor for them to come as a fit for our boy Breece Hall. You could be a rival, but we have respect for Breece Hall. We thought he could have been a Bill. So
plus they're down their best lineman Vera Tucker for the year, so that's a big hit.
Yeah,
and Zach Wilson just continues to
fall under pressure, literally. Yeah, and anytime the pocket's dirty, he's on the ground. That's just or he's throwing it away.
Playmaker.
No, he's not a playmaker. Mac Jones suddenly became a playmaker last Sunday. He was rushing all over the place. I don't know what happened there.
Mac Jones was still pretty bad.
He was bad.
That game was a tough watch.
No,
tough
that
watch.
was I was switching back and forth between that game and Dallas, and I was like, don't have red zone, so I was stuck.
That's their downfall right there.
What was I doing? I wasn't watching that game. I was at school working.
As you were the last pod. Mm-hmm. You were in the school library.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I mean tough game, sorry, against the Jets and the Patriots. That was a horrible watch, but the Bills, there's no way no way the Jets pull anything over on the Bills, in my opinion. There's absolutely no way.
I mean, I wouldn't say that because last year we lost to the Jags.
Yeah,
that was historically terrible team. So
yeah, I think it was funny. I saw the stat that Trevor Lawrence has the worst start, like at 5-20 through 25 starts for the number 1 overall pick, and I was like, every time I see that stat, man, one of those 5 wins.
Yeah, the Bills.
But listen, the Jets are still a good team. I know, like, we talk about how your record can sometimes overrate you, Ben. And I don't think they're a 5-3, talented football team, but they still have talent and they're still really good defense, and they could still, move the ball a little bit on the ground. And if Zach Wilson isn't terrible, he's a good game manager and they could win games. But again, it's a tough matchup, I think, for the Jets to play offense against the Bills defense, just because how good they are in the past and how they can also stop the run. So they're going to make Zach Wilson, be really smart with the football. And he's shown time and time again.
I don't think he'll be really smart with the football. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I mean, the fact that we don't blitz, right? Leslie Frazier doesn't blitz. He's just the pass rush gets there on its own is a testament to our D-line and our edge rushers. So, I mean, Ed Oliver had a great game last week, set up a lot of opportunities, and I think he's going to even have a bigger game this week. So, against puny little Zach Wilson, Joe Flacco wannabe for the Jets.
Joe Flacco is not a third-string quarterback.
He is. He wasn't injured, right? He was just benched. They just took him out.
No, bench is the right word, but yeah.
Healthy scratch.
I think we're going to come to the fact of, I think the Bills' defense is a mismatch for the Jets' offense, but I do think this Jets defense does match up very well with the Bills' offense. They're 8th in VOA of both against the pass and the run. So they're good against both run and pass. And they're top 5 against the number 1 wide receiver. And they're top 10 against the number 2 wide receiver. Because I believe DJ Reed's their number 2 corner. He's been very good alongside Sauce. So it's really going to come down to the Knox of the world, McKenzie. Obviously, Naheem Hines. We'll see if he... it looks like he's going to play. He looked pretty good in those practice clips.
Yeah, he was moving quick. Josh Allen was impressed. So, and even Stephon Diggs, he turned to him and was like, this guy, holy crap, he's fast. So I'm really excited to see some competent running back play from anyone other than Singletary and Cook. Zach Moss, sayonara. I might pick him up on fantasy because Jonathan Taylor's injured. So, I mean, he's going to be he might get more touches. I don't know. They might try him out. Just watch it.
What a waste of a first overall pick.
I know.
3 years in a row, I've had a first overall pick, and they get hurt every year.
Yeah, and you're still the best.
Saquon, CMC, and then JT.
And you're still the best player in our league, so please drop it.
Yeah.
Please keep crying about it.
Dom and I are down at the bottom pretty much.
Listen, I just got unlucky. I got unlucky last week because of T. Higgins and Joe Burrow.
I remember
we're playing each other this week.
Yeah, I'm trying to kill you.
No, I'm actually projected to win now.
Okay.
In the year,
I doubt that.
Pittman straight up didn't go through. Thank God it didn't go through.
Hang on.
I doubt that.
The best thing about a video pod.
Back where I was with the whole, talking about, I just think that the Bills' secondary playmakers are going to have a big game because I think, listen, the Bills do it as we talked about Dorsey, that a little bit different from Dable is that Diggs is lined up in the slot a lot more. I think his total is about 37% in the slot, so they're going to move him around. I think Davis is going to have some impact as well, bigger impact than he did against the Packers. But Knox caught a touchdown the last 2 weeks. So
2 weeks they played.
Yes.
Yeah. The bye
Thank
week,
you for that.
There was a bye week.
Last 2 games. How about that?
Yeah.
So hopefully he can continue to do that. McKenzie had a nice little bounce back from his Chiefs debacle, and hopefully Shakur can play solid as well. So I think the Jets are gonna be really focused on stopping Diggs and Davis. So it's gonna matter of if the secondary guys can make plays and if they can run. They ran the ball good against the Steelers. They ran the ball pretty good against the Chiefs. and they ran the ball pretty well against Packers. So if it could be another 4 straight games, not weeks, that they're able to move the ball on the ground, obviously with the addition of Hines, that'd be nice.
Yeah, and I'd like to honestly, I'd like to see Hines get some return action in too, just to see how that goes. You know what I mean?
Well,
McKenzie's probably still the primary returner. It's just Hines will be like the Micah Hyde, where he's just there to catch it.
Nah, Hines is gonna. My boy Hines is gonna be the number 1 returner once it's all said and done.
That's what I was thinking.
Because
McKenzie's hands are not.
No, but this is why.
Glue.
This is why. One is Hines has like a 5% fumble rate on returns, and I think McKenzie's is like 15%. So 1, you get ball security. 2, he's actually good at returning kicks. 3 is it then lets McKenzie and Shakir focus just on playing wide receiver instead of the return. I think that's really important for Shakir, because then he can, instead of focus on being, the punt returner, he can focus on being a rookie wide receiver and going through those lows and highs.
No, you're absolutely right. I 100% agree with that. And to see a guy as fast as Hines be our returner,
and shifty,
shifty. He's young. That's the best part about that trade. I mean, we'll have him for a while. I mean, where was Zach Moss going? Absolutely nowhere. So we kind of fleeced it, I think. So
Zach Moss had no versatility. He wasn't a good pass. The only thing he did outside of run the ball was he was a good pass protecting running back. But
but you got Reggie Gilliam, the most versatile fullback in the NFL, on our team.
That didn't make any sense.
Check.
That didn't make any sense, Joe.
What? He blocks a lot of the time.
Yeah, but he's not. That didn't make any sense.
Just keep going.
It didn't make any sense.
What did make sense about it?
He's not a pass protecting running back. He's a fullback and tight end.
Well, still, he's better. Zach Moss is basically a fullback. I said that at the beginning of the season. I mean, he should have been.
That doesn't mean he was a fullback.
It should have been. That's where we're going. But he should have been. Would have been better. But let's move on. Let's move on here into the what are like keys to success in this game? Like who's going to step up and whatnot? Like what do the Bills have to do, you think?
Okay, well, for starters, they're going to have to get pressure to Zach Wilson, because once you get him moving around and pressure in his face, he's just going to make mistakes. He's going to make those turnovers. He can't make the plays when he's under pressure.
Yeah.
So if we can get to him, not even blitzing, I think we just naturally having Vaughn and Russo get to him, he's going to make mistakes.
Dirty pockets, a dirty jersey for Zach Wilson. So that's what you got to do.
No, I think if they could be able to put pressure of Wilson 4 and disguise the back end, and take his first read away and make him kind of look around at, he kind of, how Josh threw those 2 interceptions last week in the fourth quarter. That's kind of how Zach Wilson plays a little bit. He forces the ball.
Yeah.
When he shouldn't.
Wants to make a big play when he,
I mean, you saw with that Patriots interception last week, how he was kind of should probably just throw the ball away, and then he kind of tried to lob it over 2 guys.
Overthrew into Devin McCourty with a fair catch, essentially.
Yeah. So, but I think with the Bills, it's kind of, I think the pass rush is important to put pressure on him, but I think it's also pass rushing coverage. If they could take away his first read or 2, he's going to get a little jittery back there, panic, and then he's going to, force the ball he shouldn't. So it's only one of those situations where he's definitely going to throw the Bills a couple, and the Bills defenders have to catch the ball. So I think that would be the big key to success, is that the Bills are going to have opportunities to have turnovers in this game. They had to just capitalize on them.
Yeah, no, that's what I would say too. They're going to have to. I think a key to success is going to be just the ground game too, because like you said, their defense is pretty good. So, I mean, we're going to have to play around that. The offense has to click. Josh can't force those throws he tried to force.
Josh Allen can't play hero ball, because I think against the Packers, he's like, I want to make a statement here. I want to show them that we're going to stomp them, and got out of hand. So
exactly.
Don't do that this week.
Yeah, no, he can't force those throws to try and, I mean, hurdle a guy. Sure, go ahead. I mean, he's done that 5 times now, 3 times against the Chiefs, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I don't know the actual number on that. I think I got a picture of it in my room hanging on the wall over there. So, I mean, but he can't play hero ball like Mike said. That's probably the best way to put it. But, I mean,
I would just play with it. Josh. As long as Josh just plays with it himself, he'll be fine.
Right. Yeah. But now let's move to offense and defensive X factors here. Who do you think is going to be the difference maker on the Bills, both sides of the ball? Like,
I think Dom alluded to it. I think it's going to be Knox, because they're going to put a lot of focus on Diggs and Davis. So I think Dawson Knox is going to be open. Got to take it. He's going to be what, a top 5 paid tight end? He's got to start playing like that. We need to start using him more.
Yep, I would say the same. They got to use him as that third option for the receiver. I mean, like, who's not going to cover Diggs and Davis? I mean, I remember a couple weeks ago against the Steelers. You remember that, a couple 98-yard touchdown passes almost, like Randy Moss stat line.
Couple, you mean one?
Well, almost two. There were a couple of deep bombs.
What happened to the 5 catches, 375 yards, and 5 touchdowns?
Yeah. The Randy Moss stat line for Gabe Davis in the first half.
I am 99% sure I predicted 27-10 Buffalo, and I thought Josh was just throwing those picks just for me, just to get my score right.
Wow.
You would like that, wouldn't you? You'd like him to throw interceptions, wouldn't you?
I never said I'd like him to. I just said,
no, but definitely Dawson
31-17.
Knox.
Yeah.
Dawson Knox is definitely an X factor. Dom, what do you think?
No, I think Diggs. Honestly, if I was gonna say an X factor, I think it would actually be Davis. Because I think Diggs is still gonna get his. I mean, he always kind of, but Davis has even. I know he's had injury concerns, but he doesn't have a lot of catches in the year. I know, like, someone's gonna talk about how he has a lot of deep plays and he owns a deep route tree, but I would like to see him get a nice little 5 to 8 catch game, kind of get I don't know, more opportunities. Yeah, I would say get more maybe a little more targets, a little bit more opportunities for him, because he was a little quiet against the Packers, and he was quiet, and I don't think he got a catch in the second half against the Chiefs. So
no, yeah, they locked him down pretty good.
Yeah, the last 3 halves of football, he's been pretty, invisible. Obviously, he nearly made that really nice touchdown at the end of the first half. But no, I would say obviously the secondary playmakers are going to be a huge X factor. I would say Davis, though, as a top 2 playmaker on the team, has got to show up, especially against good competition. It's a good test for him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I got him on my fantasy team. Of course, I want him to show up. He's Gabe Davis. But we'll have to see.
So the defensive X factor, I would say, would be the backup linebackers, because if you look at the injury report, it's not looking too promising currently for the moment for the Bills. Milano's missed the 2 days of practice. Vaughn had a veteran rest day and now missed practice today because of an ankle injury. And Tremaine's been limited. Obviously, Poyer hasn't practiced either. So I don't know if the Bills are doing what they did with the Steelers a little bit and do some load management this week, maybe. Obviously, Spencer Brown also talking about the offense, probably not going to play again, but Quisenberry is all right. So it's just talking about the defenders. I would say the X factors have to be the backup linebackers, either Bernard or Dobson, because I think there's a potential. I mean, Milano has an oblique injury, so I don't know. I mean, that's kind of a hard injury to play with. So, one of those guys might have to be thrust in the lineup, and they gotta, do the 1-11 that Sean McDermott says.
Yeah, I mean, I alluded to it earlier in the podcast. My defensive X factor is going to be Ed Oliver, making more, big time plays, opening it up for Rousseau and to get around and cause some issues in the pocket. I think it's going to be Ed Oliver.
No, I'm going to stick with the defensive lineman. I'm going to say Groot. I think he needs to get some pressure on Zach Wilson, get him moving, and then that'll make him turn over the ball.
Yeah, I think we've all alluded to the fact that there's no other way to do this than put pressure on Zach Wilson and cause that offense to absolutely crumble.
Did Groot have a sack last week?
Yes.
He should have had 2 sacks. One of them was it, are you talking about the one that was offside? He had another one, didn't he?
No, he had 1 sack.
Yeah, he should. So
my
multi-sack prediction should have been right then, because if
not the 10 sacks though, you said double digits.
I corrected myself before I finally. You know what? I'm just gonna drop it.
Just take
drop it. Yeah,
I'll take the L on that. I'll take the partial. I'll make
keep chugging along.
I will keep chugging on. So obviously we talked a little bit about the injuries. So quickly, I just want to bring up. Obviously Josh Allen does his weekly appearance at the Kyle Brandt's Basement podcast. And he did say that there's a parallel between him and Zach Wilson of a second-year quarterback plays the Patriots, throws 3 interceptions, and then it's a career-changing moment. What are your thoughts on our buddy Josh saying that about Zach Wilson? Is he just being a nice guy, or is he
being nice?
Yeah, he's being a nice, cordial guy. No way he actually means that.
Zach Wilson and Josh Allen are 2 different type quarterbacks.
I mean, I think in a way, yeah. I mean, not in a way they are, but I mean, Zach Wilson's still kind of that young gunslinger that Josh was. Like, I'm
not saying.
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
And this, could be a turning point, but he's not going to be.
You don't buy it?
I don't think he has the upside of Josh Allen.
Well, of course he doesn't have the upside. I don't think he has the upside, but
his ceiling is Josh Allen's floor.
It's
a bold statement, but I'm going with it.
That doesn't make any sense either.
Josh Allen's floor would be Bust.
Josh Allen's floor would be
It's
with
Cam
that fourth.
Newton.
Josh Allen's floor would be that fourth quarter where he threw 2 interceptions.
Josh
Listen,
Allen's floor is what
that's
Cam
not
Newton
even
is
the
now.
floor, I don't think. But anyway, I don't think Zach Wilson is the answer for the Jets franchise quarterback, and I think Josh Allen was just being a nice guy saying that.
Well, okay. That's a lot to unpack from Joe there. I can't believe I'm someone defending Zach Wilson. I'll agree with the fact that I think he was just being a nice guy. I also agree with the fact that I don't think Zach Wilson's. I think the Jets should look elsewhere because they have a very talented roster. And
Hey, maybe go after Russell Wilson, see if he works in your offense. You know what I mean? Not working over in Denver.
That's Nate Hackett. Russ has regressed, but Nate Hackett doesn't help.
Okay.
No.
Thanks for that comment, Joe. But no, but I again, the Jets have a very talented roster, so I do think they should try and upgrade a quarterback. But I'm not going to completely write out Zach Wilson, but because it's only his second year. But I will say this: Zach Wilson still has a lot of talent. He just kind of seems like
raw talent.
He just
That's
seems
what
like
I would say.
He doesn't have the
He's not
QB
refined
mentality.
into skill at this point. It's just raw talent.
So I mean, listen, you get Josh made the big jump between his second and third year, so Zach could potentially still do that. But again, he's not going to do that right now. It's not going to be flip a switch mid-season. So
Flip the flip.
Flip the flip. So again, I just think Josh was being a nice guy, but Josh is always a nice guy though. He's just
well, he's one of the nicer quarterbacks in the NFL for sure. I mean, that's his personality, I guess. I mean, that's what everyone says about him. Oh, no, what a nice guy. It's like you, Dom. Everyone says you're such a nice guy. So, I mean, but now let's move into the offense and defensive MVP post game. Who do you think comes out? Could be the same as your X Factor prediction, but I mean,
I'll be boring. Mine are the same.
Okay, yours are the same. Dom.
Well, I guess mine would be different. Well, I'll just go Groot again because Groot's my boy, and then I just think Groot will have a good game. And then I guess offensively, I'll go different from Davis. I'll go Diggs. Diggs statement game.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with Diggs, and I'm gonna go with Groot actually for the defense.
Oh my God,
I'll say Russo.
Yeah, no, I think he's gonna have a good week, but I think
this is a big week. I think this is a big week for Groot, especially even if he's active, he probably won't get as many snaps. So I think this is actually a big week for Groot.
Big step into a leadership role for Groot.
Well, especially because the Jets do like to run the ball, and Groot is a very good run defender as well. So it's not just his pass rushing ability. And then Diggs always kind of gets his, and I think he's gonna be pretty motivated this week against Sauce, especially all the trash talking that Jair was giving them.
Yeah. So
but the big thing for Diggs though is you can't look ahead. I mean, next week's Minnesota. He's got to stay focused on the Jets.
Yeah. And Case Keenum's on the team too. The OG Minnesota Miracle pair is on the Bills playing the Vikings. So that's kind of nuts. But I mean, what are your score predictions? Let's move. Let's cap it off here. Is it a blowout? Is it a low scoring tight game? Mike, start us off, buddy.
I'm gonna say it's 30-14 Bills.
I'll go 27-13. So the Bills, 12.5 point favorites. I think they're going to cover. I also don't think the Bills are going to score like a bunch of points, but I don't think the Jets are going to score like any points pretty much. So that's where my mindset is for the game.
28-3 Bills. I think the Jets get a field goal. That's all I'll give them, truthfully. I mean, I don't know. I think our defense is just going to stop Zach Wilson and what he has to offer, which isn't much to begin with. So, it'll be an interesting game to watch, though. I will say that 1:00 p.m. in New Jersey. So, out of the prime time. And
I think this prediction has potential to be more accurate than last week's prediction of 56-7. So
it does. Yeah.
You're making a lot of progress.
I dialed it back a little bit, went with the more realistic approach. But before we move on to recapping the picks, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a big sports fan. And so are my fellow podcast hosts here. And I would like to recommend you to the Sports Bring People Together podcast. Listen for entrepreneurial conversations with those in sports, and who knows where the chat will take you, but sports got us all together in the first place. So take a listen and enjoy the show. Find this show wherever you listen to podcasts, or simply visit sportseplus.com. Now, do it. It's a good show. Fellas, let's move in to the picks. Let's recap last week. I know I jumped into it a little early there.
Yeah,
but
just like false starting. I don't know if you should do offsides or false starting, whichever one fits.
I think encroachment might be the neutral zone infraction might be the better. Because I moved back 10 yards and now we're
You mean 5? God, you gotta get that one right.
I don't know. I got two false start penalties. I jumped the gun on 2 things. So move back 10 yards total on the drive. We're about to hit the tutty here though. 1 play touchdown. We all had the same record last week. 10-5. What a week for us. Not bad. Looking at it as a whole, it's really not that bad. I mean, considering how our picks last week, I know we picked a couple on the pod that we were all on the same, but for the most part, we
only had 2 picks that all of us we disagreed on. I think I was the only one that picked the Seahawks. You guys picked the Giants, and then I would pick the Panthers, and you guys picked the Falcons. And we split those 2 games, so that's why we're all 10-5.
Right.
I also got screwed, but that's okay.
How?
The Panther game, I got completely.
Oh yeah,
the dude missed a 33-yard field goal in overtime for the win. Not to mention a 40-yard PAT, which didn't even have been a 15-yard penalty.
Young Hoku, he comes in and saves the game for the second attempt, but
cry
in overtime. So yeah, you know what? You took
what second attempt?
Yeah,
Eddie Pinero's their kicker.
I'm talking about the Falcons. He iced the game. He finished it.
All right,
but let's move into the totals for the season now. Dom, you're 78-44-1. I'm 77-45-1, and Mike 64-58-1. Mike, you're getting better every week. You covered.
I think this might be a season high, 6 games over 500 for Big Mike.
Yeah. No, he's moving up.
Is that your first double-digit win week 2 as well?
I think I had 10-6 week before.
He went 10-6.
But, okay, best pick percentage. How about that?
Sure, yeah, because there was a bias, so yeah.
Progress.
Yeah, look at that. But all in pretty good standing on the season. I don't think you'd get many other sports podcasts that have this good of a record by midseason. A lot of them are dangling a little lower. Would you agree, Dom? Would you think that? I think we're a pretty respectable organization here.
I don't know. I would say that. I think some people do pick spreads though, and that's a lot difficult than just picking the games.
Right.
I know we try and do a little bit of spread work. Talk about the spreads, and we pick. Sometimes do that, but we're just picking games for the most part.
I like just picking games.
It's nice, keep it simple. You know what I mean? That's probably the best way to go about it. So, without further ado, let's crack into these games here. A nice egg on a Sunday morning brunch, and let's see who we starting off at first.
Start at the top of the list. Rams-Bucks.
Two
teams that are struggling right now. 2 teams I expect to be the top teams in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pick Brady and the Bucks.
Okay, Dom.
Well, Brady's at home. They're a 3-point favorite, so I think that tells you that Vegas thinks these teams are pretty even.
Mm-hmm.
Combined record of these teams are 6-9. I don't.
That's bad. Holy cow!
I don't think anyone had that one.
Super Bowl champions and a Tom Brady led team going 6-9 combined is nuts. I would not have predicted that at the beginning of the season.
But both teams currently out of the postseason, so
yeah.
I'll agree though with Mike. I think if you could, I think this is going to be a defensive game because I still think both these teams have pretty solid defenses for the most part. The Rams have the worst offensive line probably in the NFL right now. They can't run the ball. They can't protect Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford a little bit playing like Zach Wilson. He's going to throw you a couple. And I just trust the Bucks. I know the Bucks are still. They're just always banged up, but I trust the Bucks defense to make some plays. And at least the Bucks seem like at least last week they had at least a pulse.
Yeah,
they lost a close one to the Ravens.
No, the Rams look like they're roadkill, laying on the side of the highway.
The Rams were competitive for about a quarter and a half, and then San Fran just took it to them. So I think the Bucks get a good solid win. It's gonna be close though. It's probably gonna be like a 17-13 low scoring kind of game.
Yeah, I'm taking the Buccaneers as well. Just simply because I believe in Tom Brady more than I believe in that entire Rams team can win a game. And I think McVay said something about not trading or anything. And once those core guys, Stafford, Donald, Kupp, retire, he's retired, or go somewhere else, he's retiring. So, I'm not following the Rams. I don't believe in them at all. I'm going with the Bucks. So next game here The 41-7 losers here in Orchard Park, the Titans against the Kansas City Chiefs. Fellas, I'm going to go first on this one. I'm taking the Chiefs. I think I mean, is Malik Willis playing actually, or is Ryan Tannehill back?
That's a great question. I think Tannehill's still a little bit banged up with
Yeah.
the ankle.
Not that it would make a difference in my opinion though, but I'm taking the Chiefs. I think Pat Mahomes is, I mean, we've said it on here. Dom, you even picked them against the Bills. I mean, they're a dominant team, dominant offense, dominant defense. It's going to be tough. Derrick Henry's dominant, but when that's really the only dominant part of your offense, it's a little tough. So I'm picking the Chiefs.
I'm going to pick the Titans.
Outright or just to cover the spread?
No, they're going to win.
Oh.
I'm feeling a little bit of an upset this week.
Look at that.
They're starting to roll right now. I think they're
Mike, that's picking like me right there, pal.
They're starting to roll. They're starting to roll. They're on a 5-game winning streak, and the combined records of those teams are like 15-22.
Okay, so what? Still think they're going to
win. Any given Sunday, right, Mike? Any given Sunday.
And they haven't scored more than 24 points all year in a game.
Dom, listen.
How about that fact?
Any given Sunday, buddy.
Okay, I'm not changing my opinion.
I'll go the Chiefs, but I think the Titans are going to cover. I think the Chiefs, very good. Andy Reid coming off a bye, but I think we could potentially see some rest. Obviously, the Chiefs, run defense is a little suspect. I think the Titans will be able to move the ball, kind of control the clock a little bit of Henry. And then the Titans actually have a pretty good defense this year, but they have pretty young corners, so I think Reid and Mahomes are going to do a good job of making those inexperienced guys pay. So I would say like a 31-20 kind of game. 11 points under the spread. It's also in Kansas City, so
right in Arrowhead.
It's a tough place to play, especially if honestly, it's probably 31-20 if Tannehill plays. If Willis plays, I would take the Chiefs because I just don't think a rookie quarterback is going to be able to survive in Arrowhead.
No, and Mike, I absolutely respect the pick. I just have to say that 100%. That's my kind of pick right there. So, without further ado, let's move on to the next.
But you crap on my Chiefs pick. Okay.
What? You picked the Chiefs against the Bills, and we're a Bills podcast.
Okay.
That's tough look for you. That's a tough look. It is because they lost.
Chiefs lost.
My logic wasn't completely wrong. I mean, it's whatever.
All right. Let's move on to the squishy fishies for Miami and the Chicago Bears. Chase Claypool is now a Chicago Bear.
Dolphins are going to wipe the floor with the Bears. The Bears
I couldn't agree more. This is going to be the Bears just completely sold that
35-6.
Whoa. Mike, you sound like me over there today. What is going on?
See, I would say like that kind of like I would say I'm going to go 38-20. Just because I think the Bears actually can move the ball a little bit because, the Dolphins have struggled a little bit with mobile quarterbacks. Fields, obviously, a mobile quarterback. And the Bears' offense has actually kind of gotten rolling a little bit the last couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And Miami kind of defense is middle of the pack. But this Bears defense just lost arguably their best pass rusher in Robert Quinn.
Yeah.
They just traded their signal caller in Roquan Smith. So, yeah, they have just no shot of stopping Miami. They just have absolutely zero chance of stopping the Dolphins. So, this is Dolphins easily going to score 35 plus. So, yeah. At that point, do you think you had to ask yourself if you think the Bears can score 35 points plus and outscore them, which is why it's a very easy Dolphins pick for me.
Yeah, no, I'm taking the Miami squishy fishies. Absolutely, the Miami.
Wow,
Dolphins.
three favorites for you, Joe. This is I totally thought I totally thought if you would have went first, you were going to say the Bears. I'm not even going to lie about it.
No, Justin Fields, I don't believe in. He's a budget Lamar Jackson, and Lamar Jackson's iffy. So I think I'm taking the Dolphins. I mean, Tua is arguably one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. So he's also, fun stat here for you, first in concussions this season. So. It's a pretty cool stat for you. So I'm taking the Miami squishy fishies in the Dolphins, and I am
got him.
Yeah, I got Dom. Dom's gone. He can't handle that joke right there. But
dude, what are you talking, Joe? What are you? I'll come back with another stat for you. He's first in passer rating.
He is because he's played less games too.
That less games doesn't affect your pass rating.
The average is different than Josh Allen's average.
Do you know how pass rating works?
I mean, there's more of a sample size.
He still qualifies.
I know he still qualifies, but I think until they play the same amount of games in the overall passer rating, I think
we're done with this.
Yes. All right, we're moving on to the next game. Colts at Patriots. Colts lost Nyheim Hines to the Buffalo Bills.
Oh my god!
And I'm gonna take the Colts in this game.
I'm taking the Pats.
Wait, time out. You
What?
You literally just said, and I quote, the Colts lost Nyheim Hines to the Bills, practically replacing Zach Moss, and then you said you're picking the Colts.
I said earlier Zach Moss might go off because Jonathan Taylor's still injured. I hate Zach Moss, but now he's on a different team. So I mean, the feelings changed a little bit. I mean, I'm not actively like this guy's fantastic, but he might do something because of the situation over there. It might be a better system for him. I don't know. So I'm going with the Colts. I'm gonna throw in this pick out there this week. Sam Ehlinger absolutely picks apart the Patriots.
This game's in New England, right? Yeah. Okay. Sam Ehlinger, second career start's going to be on the road in New England, going to beat Bill Belichick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure. You could bet on that one, bud. I'll take the Pats 20-7. I don't think the Pats have a great offense, but I think they're just gonna run the ball, play game manager, and then their defense is gonna make some turnovers, make some plays for them. Judon will probably have a big game. They're just gonna. The Colts don't have JT probably. His ankle's still a bit banged up, so I'm not trusting the Colts of backup running backs, including Zach Moss and Sam Ehlinger, who's more of a runner than a thrower. Though I will say, running quarterbacks have given the Patriots fits all year.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Justin Fields on Monday Night Football a week ago, but Ehlinger just isn't a good enough thrower of the football for me to believe in him, especially on the road in New England. So, give me the Pats.
What do you think, Mike? You going with
him?
him?
No. All right. Yeah, I said Patriots.
Oh, okay.
Easily.
I was just I was laughing at Dom's reaction to my pick. There we go. So
you didn't give any like
oh yeah, no, they have Zach Moss now. They're back quarterback. I'm taking the Colts.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't give any reason why you're picking
off
the
cuff, baby. Off the cuff.
You didn't give any logic at all.
Nice.
Your logic was like reverse
Listen,
psychology.
last time you questioned my logic, I outperformed you. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. So we're moving in to the final game on the docket. Seahawks at Cardinals. Geno Smith, Kyler Murray. Call of Duty is out and playable. Kyler Murray is not studying his 4 hours a day. I'm taking Geno Smith and the Seahawks right off. Geno Smith, in my opinion, he's not going to win comeback player of the year because Saquon is. Let's just be honest. Dom, I think you and I had this conversation the other day. I wish he would because Geno has been so bad for so many years and now he's doing great. So, and I think he'll pick apart this Cardinals team. So, Seahawks.
Yeah, no, I'm going with the Seahawks too. I think they're kind of the surprise team in the NFL right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I would definitely pick them because the Cardinals just, I don't know. I mean, they have D-Hop now.
Kingsbury can't get anything together.
He's back, but like they're the worst team in that division. Well, no, they are. They're worse than the Rams.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough pick, because I think the Rams have some talent, and I'm sorry, not the Rams. Gotta talk about the Rams. The Cardinals have a lot of talent. They just are terribly coached.
Kyler Murray yells at him coming off the field too. That clip a couple weeks ago.
I'll take the Seahawks. I think their defense is getting better every week, and Geno is just cooking, and I just can't trust the Cardinals. The Cardinals are a team that kind of has to prove that they can beat a team in their like above them to pick them even at home. So I'll take the Seahawks. I think Kenneth Walker, very good running back. He'll have a nice day. I DK. I mean, just DK Tyler Lockett. That offense is the Cardinals struggled last week. Jefferson and all those guys. I don't think this week's going to be any different for them.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, how many picks did we actually line up all in one? We lined up with Rams, Bucks, and Dolphins, and the Seahawks. So, hey, you know what?
What were the two games we disagreed on?
Titans. Mike picked the Titans versus the Chiefs, and then I picked the Colts over the Patriots, and that was where the disagreement happened. So overall, pretty even field, and best of luck to you fellas.
I didn't disagree with anyone. I like both of you had the same pick. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at that. It's an odd week. These games stink, by the way. I just want to point that out. I mean, they're just like bottom of the barrel games. Like nothing exciting.
What's
like,
the Monday night game? Obviously, the Thursday night game tonight is terrible.
Let's pick it. Let's add it. Hang on. Monday Night Football. Let's see.
No, the Thursday night game tonight is terrible. And then the Sunday night game, it was supposed to be good in Titans Chiefs, but that looks like that could be a trash game too. So you just can't be definitely not the best week for prime time again. At least we're done with all those London games.
Yeah, hang on, I'm looking. Week 9, Ravens at Saints. That's also a bum game, in my opinion.
Oh, that's a good game.
All right.
Lamar, Monday Night Football.
Yeah, you got a point.
Saints, tough place to play in the Superdome. Just came off a big time. Completely got that game wrong on the my picks this week. I thought the Raiders were going to go in there and make a statement that they were legit, but they got shut out. So, and the Red Rifle playing at an elite level.
Yeah. I mean, looking at this game, I'm taking the Saints and Andy Dalton.
I'm picking the Ravens.
Darn. You picked the Saints, right?
No, I'm taking the Ravens. I think the Ravens.
Oh, I thought you said the Red Rifle was playing well. I thought you were going.
I was Bateman anymore, but
I was hyping.
I think Lamar's is going to run.
I was hyping up the game. I was just saying. I think Lamar's prime time. Lamar. I think.
I've been an Andy Dalton believer since he got us into the playoffs all those years ago for the first time. So
sure. When Dak hurt his leg, you were totally thought there was going to be a drop off between him and Andy Dalton.
I thought so when he first came in. I said, yes, he's getting another chance. Then he didn't do well, but here he seems to be doing pretty well. So he's playing it, like you said, an elite level. So I'm going with him. This week.
He's playing well, but I think the Ravens. It's probably gonna be a high scoring game. I think the Ravens are just a better team, and the Ravens also definitely in their division smell blood in the water. They're already a game and a half up on Cincinnati, and they don't want to lose any of that momentum. I think the Ravens are a solid pick there. You get a better quarterback. Tough that it's on the road, but I think you get a better team and a better quarterback. Especially if MT out the whole entire season.
Yeah.
I don't know if Lattimore's playing, so.
Right. Yeah, you got a point, but not changing my pick. Just going with the Saints. The Red Rocket strikes again. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it.
It's the Red Rifle.
The Red Rifle. Red Rocket. I don't know. Whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for the Buffalonian podcast, betting on the Bills week 9. And Dom, without further ado, buddy, how do you always end these?
Go Bills, baby.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.